The moment Shedeur Sanders stepped back onto the field, everything changed. The energy, the confidence, the pace of practice, it all felt different after weeks of standing on the sideline, watching, learning, and waiting for his moment. Shedeur finally broke through that barrier. And the second he did, it became obvious. The Browns weren't just getting a quarterback back, they were getting a playmaker. His throws instantly grabbed attention. Not safe, simple passes, but the kind that make you freeze and rewatch the clip. Deep balls with perfect touch, lasers placed exactly where only the receiver could get them. The kind of accuracy that reminds you why he was once projected to be the best quarterback in his draft class. But what stood out the most wasn't the arm talent, it was the composure. The calm, collected expression of someone who knows he's built for this moment. Those connections with Cedric Dillman and Jerry Jeudy, those weren't routine reps. They were warnings to the league, signals that something big is brewing in Cleveland. Behind every throw, every movement, every decision, you could see a quarterback who isn't just participating, he's preparing to take over. And the way Shedeur carries himself tells an even bigger story. No panic, no ego, just focus. The perfect balance of confidence and discipline, wrapped in the mindset of someone ready to prove exactly why he belongs in the NFL spotlight. Because this isn't just practice footage, it's a preview, a glimpse of the future. And if what we've seen so far is any indication, the league isn't ready for what's coming next. For the first time since joining the Browns, Shedeur Sanders finally stepped onto the field with the first-team offense, and the difference was immediate. This wasn't a rookie trying to figure things out. This wasn't someone overwhelmed by the moment. This was a quarterback who looked like he'd been waiting his entire life for this exact opportunity. From the second he lined up with the starters, everything about his presence shifted. The tempo, the confidence, the way the receivers carried themselves. It was obvious he belonged. Shedeur later admitted that the biggest challenge wasn't the pressure or the playbook. It was breaking that mental barrier of coming off the sideline after so many weeks. When you're stuck watching, studying, and preparing without actually getting reps, stepping into live action feels like walking into a different world. But once he settled in, the game slowed down. The reads became clearer. The timing made sense. He said that as the reps piled up, he started seeing the routes, the spacing, the movement of each receiver, and everything began clicking. And what stood out most was how comfortable he looked. Not jittery, not hesitant, just locked in. He told reporters that being around the starters every day, watching them run routes, studying their habits, and communicating with them on the field is giving him exactly what he needs: rhythm, chemistry, confidence. The ingredients every young quarterback desperately needs, but rarely gets early in their career. Shedeur didn't hype himself up. He didn't brag. Instead, he spoke with calm excitement, almost like someone who knows something big is coming, but isn't saying it out loud yet. You could hear it in his voice. He's grateful for the opportunity, but he's not overwhelmed by it. He's focused on learning the offense, understanding his guys, and being ready for when the lights turn on. And now that he finally has real first-team reps, the entire picture is starting to change. The footwork looks sharper, the ball comes out faster, the timing feels deliberate. This isn't a rookie trying to survive. This is a quarterback preparing to take control. And if this is what he looks like after just a taste of first-team work, the NFL isn't ready for what happens when he gets a full week. If there's one part of Shedeur Sanders' game that instantly separates him from most young quarterbacks, it's his ability to launch deep, precise passes like it's nothing. And during the Browns' recent training sessions, that strength wasn't just noticeable, it was impossible to ignore. The coaching staff knew exactly what they wanted to test, and Shedeur delivered with the kind of accuracy that makes defensive coordinators nervous. From the moment practice started, Kevin Stefanski and the offensive staff dialed up long cross-field throws, deep outs, and vertical shots. Plays that demand arm strength, timing, and complete confidence. These aren't easy reps. These are the throws that expose quarterbacks who don't have the arm talent. But for Shedeur, it looked effortless. Every ball came out crisp, tight, and perfectly placed. Receivers didn't have to adjust. They didn't have to slow down. They didn't have to bail him out. The ball met their hands in stride, exactly where you want it. Coaches weren't just impressed, they were energized. You could see it in their reactions. The plan for Shedeur is clear. Lean into what he does best. Stefanski knows that if you give a quarterback with elite long ball accuracy the green light, you can stretch defenses, control tempo, and open up the entire playbook. And Shedeur proved he's ready for that responsibility. But what makes these throws truly special isn't just the power, it's the control. Shedeur isn't launching prayers, he's firing calculated, deliberate strikes. He varies the trajectory, adjusts the speed, and drops the ball exactly where defenders can't touch it. That's the difference between a quarterback with arm strength and a quarterback with arm talent. Even in his rocky first game, his deep balls never wavered. Under pressure, taking hits, rolling out, those long throws stayed sharp. And in training, he reminded everyone why he was once projected as one of the most naturally gifted passers in his class. This wasn't rookie doing well in practice energy. This was a quarterback proving he has a weapon most starters in the league wish they had. And the Browns seem ready to build their offense around it. Shedeur Sanders' first NFL appearance wasn't the debut anyone imagined. The stats were rough, the timing was off, and the box score didn't tell a flattering story. 4 completions on 16 attempts, a single interception, and pressure coming from every direction. On paper, it looked like a disaster. But here's the part most people are missing. That debut wasn't a true reflection of who Shedeur is. It was a rookie thrown into chaos with zero preparation, no chemistry, and absolutely no rhythm. Let's be real. Most quarterbacks get weeks, sometimes months, of first-team reps before ever touching a real game. Shedeur didn't get that luxury. He went from watching on the sideline to being shoved into the fire against one of the toughest, most aggressive defenses in the league. That's not a debut, that's survival mode. And yet, even in the middle of that storm, there were flashes of the real Shedeur Sanders. The deep ball to Larvidane in the red zone, that wasn't luck. That was an elite, perfectly placed throw that should have been a game-changing touchdown. The receiver fumbled, and the highlight disappeared, but the throw didn't lie. Under pressure with defenders in his face, Shedeur delivered a strike only a handful of young quarterbacks can make. Even his incompletions revealed something important: accuracy under stress. Many of those passes were placed exactly where they needed to be, but pressure disrupted routes or timing fell apart. When the pocket collapsed, Shedeur didn't panic. He stayed composed, kept his eyes up, and tried to make plays. That poise is rare for a rookie thrown in cold. And the coaching staff noticed. They didn't walk away from that game discouraged. They walked away intrigued. They saw the same flashes that fans later noticed on film. The mistakes weren't signs of incompetence. They were signs of inexperience. And experience is the one thing you can't fake in the NFL. That's why his struggles aren't red flags, they're growing pains. Underneath that uncomfortable debut was the foundation of a quarterback who could become something special once he gets real preparation, real reps, and real support. If there was any doubt about Shedeur Sanders' talent, it didn't last long. As more practice clips leaked out, analysts and insiders started saying the quiet part out loud. Shedeur might actually be the most accurate quarterback the Browns have, and it's not even close. And leading that charge was none other than Mary Kay Cabot, the most respected Browns insider in the game. Cabot didn't sugarcoat anything. She didn't dance around her words. She flat out said she's seen enough with her own eyes to believe Shedeur throws the most beautiful, precise ball in the quarterback room. Not good for a rookie. Not promising for his age. She said elite accuracy. And when someone with her track record makes a statement like that, the entire city listens. What stood out the most wasn't just the routine passes, it was the variety. Shedeur wasn't just hitting wide-open receivers in warm-ups, he was firing deep outs across the field with flawless timing, dropping perfectly lofted passes over defenders in tight red zone windows, and ripping sidearm throws through narrow lanes like he's been doing it for years. This wasn't hype. This wasn't social media fanfiction. This was a veteran reporter breaking down what she's watched from just a few yards away. According to Cabot, Shedeur's control of the football is what separates him. He knows when to fire it, when to float it, and when to bend the trajectory around defenders. She highlighted one specific trait that only top-tier quarterbacks possess: the ability to adjust touch mid-throw. If a corner jumps a route, Shedeur doesn't panic. He adjusts the speed, lifts the ball over the top, and still drops it in the perfect spot. That's high-level quarterbacking, and it's extremely rare for someone who's barely gotten first-team reps. Other analysts have started echoing her words. They're baffled. They're asking why a quarterback this polished wasn't getting meaningful practice time earlier in the season. Why a player with this kind of arm talent had to wait for an injury just to get a shot. Why someone making NFL-caliber throws day after day was watching from the sideline while another rookie struggled to complete basic reads. Fans are asking the same questions, and the pressure is only building. One analyst summed it up perfectly. Dillon Gabriel doesn't even look like a first-team quarterback, so why is Shedeur the one waiting? And honestly, that's the question that won't go away. But through all the noise, Shedeur hasn't complained once. That's the part that impresses the coaching staff the most. His mentality never wavers. He just keeps stacking good days, making the throws only he can make, and letting the film speak for itself. Now that the opportunity has finally landed in his hands, he's ready to prove what insiders like Cabot have known for weeks. This isn't hype. This isn't potential. This is real elite talent. And the NFL is about to see it up close. As more practice footage surfaced, a new question started spreading through Cleveland like wildfire. If Shedeur Sanders is this good, why wasn't he getting first-team reps from the very beginning? It's the mystery that fans can't stop talking about. Analysts keep circling back to, and even former players are scratching their heads over. Because the more you watch him, the more obvious it becomes. Shedeur wasn't just ready. He might have been the best quarterback on the roster all along. The confusion started when people saw Dillon Gabriel struggling in practice, yet still holding on to the starting spot. Clips showed shaky footwork, mistimed throws, and hesitation that you simply can't afford at the NFL level. Meanwhile, Shedeur was slicing up defenses in practice sessions, hitting receivers in stride, and showing the kind of confidence that coaches usually dream of. And still, no first-team reps. Fans began asking the question out loud. How is the guy who looks like a future franchise quarterback sitting behind someone who can't even secure the basics? Analysts joined in. One commentator said it bluntly. Dillon Gabriel doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. Shedeur does. So what are we doing here? And honestly, that's the million-dollar question. Reports suggest the coaching staff may have been overly cautious. Some believe they wanted to protect Shedeur, easing him in slowly instead of throwing him into the fire. Others say the Browns were committed to the original depth chart and didn't want controversy too early in the season. And then there are the rumors, unverified, but circulating, that the organization simply underestimated him. They assumed he needed more time, more polish, more study. But the practice footage is proving otherwise. Even Mary Kay Cabot hinted at this, saying she didn't understand why someone with this level of accuracy wasn't getting a real look sooner. That's not a small comment. That's a respected insider subtly pointing out that something behind the scenes simply didn't add up. But here's the ironic twist. All that waiting, all that patience might be the best thing that ever happened to Shedeur. Instead of being thrown into chaos before he was comfortable, he spent weeks sharpening his game, watching, learning, preparing. And now, when he steps onto the field with the first team, he's not just ready, he's dangerous. The narrative has shifted. What started as, "Why isn't he getting reps?" has now become, "Why did it take so long for the Browns to see what everyone else sees?" And the answer may never be fully clear, but one thing is, the window is finally open and Shedeur Sanders is stepping through it with full force. The wait is over, and the rest of the league is about to find out exactly what Cleveland has been sitting on. What truly separates Shedeur Sanders from most young quarterbacks isn't just his arm talent or the highlight-level throws, it's his mindset. Even with all the noise around him, the doubt from critics, and the confusion over why he wasn't getting first-team reps earlier, Shedeur has stayed locked in with a focus that feels almost unshakable. While other rookies might panic or overthink, he's calm, controlled, and completely dialed into the moment. During media sessions, you can hear the maturity in his voice. He talks about getting comfortable, settling in, and processing the game at a higher level. That's not the language of a kid overwhelmed by the spotlight. That's someone who's been preparing for this pressure his entire life. Growing up under Deion Sanders, he learned early how to block out distractions and treat every opportunity like something earned, not given. What's even more impressive is how he's handled adversity. His debut wasn't perfect, the stat sheet wasn't flattering. But instead of letting that shake him, he studied every snap, identified what he could have done better, and came back to practice, sharper than before. That ability to self-correct, to look at mistakes without letting them define him, is what great quarterbacks are built from. Coaches have noticed it too. They talk about his energy, his hunger to learn, and the way he spends extra time with receivers to build chemistry. And he's not asking for sympathy or hype. He's asking for reps, responsibility, and the chance to prove that he belongs. When he tells fans that success is coming quickly, it doesn't sound like bravado. It sounds like preparation meeting opportunity. The biggest takeaway from his mindset? He isn't intimidated by the moment he's stepping into. He's excited for it. He feels the rush, the energy, the pressure, yet he embraces it like a challenge he's been waiting on. And that's why the Browns' locker room is rallying around him. They see someone who isn't flinching, someone who's ready to elevate the entire team. Shedeur's mental toughness may end up being the very thing that turns this opportunity into something bigger than anyone expected. As Shedeur Sanders steps into this new chapter, one thing is clear. The moment he's been preparing for is finally here. After weeks of waiting, watching, and working behind the scenes, he's earned the chance to show exactly why so many people believed he could become a franchise quarterback. And what makes this moment feel so powerful isn't just his talent, it's the journey that brought him here. Needs, confidence, preparation, and a chip on his shoulder big enough to push him forward. This isn't just another opportunity. It's a turning point for the Browns and for Shedeur himself. If he delivers, the entire trajectory of the team shifts. The offense gets new life, the locker room gets new energy, and Cleveland gets something it's been searching for: hope. The best part? He knows exactly what's at stake, and he's embracing it. His time is no longer coming. His time has arrived. Now the entire NFL is waiting to see whether he turns this chance into the beginning of a legacy.